Hi, everybody. Rad Mom here. Welcome to the garden during the day. Um, it's been a hell of a week. I am going to have your regular video out for you tomorrow on Wednesday. But real quick, I wanted to jump in because I could not stand it. I dropped kiddo off at school this morning, and I was just, jumping on Twitter, like you do. And I remembered from yesterday where I actually had felt angry enough about this to tweet about it, because these are the people who supposedly represent any kind of leftist values, at least in the YouTube sphere. And yeah, we had some problems. If you can hear the fella in the background, that's my husband working hard for us. So like the video, because we slug away so hard here for you. And the t-shirts are available now. There will be a link in the description. Giveaway real soon. 5 people are gonna get free shirts as soon as I got one to show you. I'm gonna be pulling names out of a hat or something. Anyways, so subscribe to the channel for that and more stuff like this. And let's jump in real quick. All right, bearing in mind that I sped the guy up to 1.5 speed because he rambles a lot of pretentious bullshit, but I'll keep you updated at the bullet points. And this is, I guess, a collaborative channel called the Leftist Cooks, and I was randomly recommended them a couple of days ago, and I was like, okay, let's see what that is. And I didn't even get 3 minutes into the video before I had to rage quit.
Leftist video essays are quite postmodern, aren't they? They're full of references and self-reference, and they reject ground narratives. A typical trick of the contemporary video essay prologue developed from documentary, debate, lecture, and podcast is a thing called, well, actually, it doesn't seem to have a name, at least I couldn't find one. It's a specific type of prologue wherein a seemingly entirely unexpected and different story is being told briefly, and that story's conclusion will have a prestige, a surprising turn that actually draws us right up to the story that the thumbnail entitled Promise.
All right. We're all, I'm sure, pretty familiar with this structure of video essay, right? I mean, goodness knows we all have our favorites, because when it's effective, it's very effective. But it's called a framing device, dude. Did you not take high school English? Oh, he sounds like he might be Canadian or British, not American, so perhaps he did not. I do not know, but what the fuck is this shit? Prestige. I can only assume that he grabbed this definition from, like, that movie, because, like, Merriam-Webster, prestige. 1, standing or estimation in the eyes of people. Weight or credit in general opinion. 2, commanding position in people's minds. Cambridge, respect and admiration given to someone or something. Reputation for high quality success or social influence. Like, seriously. Dictionary.com. Reputation or influence arising from success, achievement, rank, or other favorable attributes. Freaking free dictionary. The level of respect at which a person or thing is regarded by others. Standing, good reputation, honor, great respect or importance. And this is literally the only place I could find that has any kind of reference to what he is talking about. French, illusion, magic trick, charm, ability to inspire admiration, prestige. From Latin, tricks. Okay, but, like, dude, we're speaking English, which again is apparently a class that you did not ever take. Oh, come on.
Here's Lindsay Ellis, teasing us with the promise of an essay about Phantom of the Opera, Love Never Dies, by detailing the production history of Men in Black. Here's Middle Hoot, teasing us with flowers in an essay about gun violence. And here's me, in an essay ostensibly about right-wing identities, and I start talking about the Disney film in Latin. Cynically, reductively, these colourful prologues are like dangling keys, an immediate left-hand turn to trick the viewer into a level of investment in a subject they might only be vaguely interested in.
No, it's called a framing device, because it's a method for framing the point you're trying to make in a way that is easy to understand and approachable. All right, you know how, like, in a movie, it's an hour and a half that can sometimes show someone's entire life. You never see people, like, in a bathroom or something like that unless, something is about to happen in that bathroom, because they cut out all the dead space and then some. It's, compartmentalized, contextualized to make easy, to make sense and be easily understood. That's what you're doing here. It's a framing device. Fred Savage plays one in The Princess Bride. Look it up. Let's do that, and we'll do that in a minute.
Or worse, intros like this establish a false sense of depth and analysis, giving the appearance of an all-encompassing godlike view of the subject, when in fact, it's just so much wasted breath over a superfluous and needlessly wordy aside.
Yeah, like somebody who doesn't know a basic literary device, who is flattering himself that we need to watch an almost 2-hour video that he helped write. What the about? They're talking about like how we're going from postmodernism to metamodernism. And it's a giant cultural like shift, you know, and how we see ourselves in the world. But like, dude doesn't even know basic elements of writing.
But naively, optimistically, these prologues show us exactly why we want to be told stories in the first place, that we are quite in love with these tropes. These stories within stories can exist for their own sake, and remind us that knowledge, as well as story, is not linear, that truth itself is never a straightforward shape. And at their best, when they roll over and show us their tummies and show us that perhaps after all the strange is familiar, that Men in Black is relevant because it, like Phantom of the Opera, had a sequel that was shite. The flowers are relevant because they're called Columbines, and Aladdin is relevant because that's how the Proud Boys got their name. When we see, with a little curating helping hand, that the truth sometimes has a very pretty shape, then we are primed to want to know more.
The truth can sometimes be given a pretty shape. And the trick is to do that without hacking off anything important or adding anything that, you know, twists stuff. And yeah, a lot of times it can just kind of make you into a pretentious windbag if you don't actually know what the fuck you're talking about. Thank you for the demonstration there, purple hair guy. Who I'm sure is like genderqueer or whatever, but like we're not going to go into that today. I'm just so mad. Hang on. And normally I would go and, you know, find some sort of reputable specific source for my, you know, points, but this is basic stuff. This is like 9th grade stuff. Story told around another story. Yeah. To give it shape and make it more clearly understood. And I'm just going to go back to my example because it's so perfect and obvious. The bedtime story narrative around the movie The Princess Bride is a perfect example of this. It doesn't connect back to the subject matter quite so cleverly as what Purple Hair was talking about, but that is the concept in a nutshell. It's very, very, very common. It's extremely common. The most common one is to have one person telling a story about to somebody else in your story. Okay, so we're like listening to someone tell the story in the story, right? That's the most common one. This goes back to the ancient Greeks. Okay, it's a framing device. That's all it is. And dude's acting like he can. Oh my God, let's go. You'll prepare yourselves for the gifts of magnificence from the intellect of just, you know, this guy here.
Not just about this subject, but about everything, about anything. And maybe, if this specific kind of opener doesn't have a name, then we can decide on them. We can discover what they are and decide how we interact with them. Maybe something like prestige.
I'm sorry. Maybe if it... Shakespeare said that there's nothing new under the sun like 500 years ago. I guarantee you it's got a name, dude.
Like a prologue with a prestige. Or maybe that looks too much like an illness of the prostate.
I feel like I didn't at all think prostate when I saw that because you know, and prostate has an A in it, whatever. Again, he's misusing the word prestige because English. I've never heard this word used this way in English. I didn't get to see that movie. I missed the whole BreadTuber era too. So if anybody knows who the fuck this guy is and has like opinions about him, I have none. I have literally none. I may have seen him over here and there, you know, in my meanderings, but I've been momming it up for the better part of 15 years until literally this morning, right now. So, no, it's called a framing device. It doesn't matter if it sounds like prostate or not, because there's a word for this. There's already a word for this. I learned it in high school English.
When I write it down. Anyway, I'm doing one of those right now, and there is a name for when a text comments on itself. It's called metatextuality.
Oh, okay. So you know that word. If that isn't the problem with, you know, supposed leftist thought in a nutshell, I just don't know what is.